Hi guys. Uncle Steve, I see you. Yeah, how we doing tonight? Are we excited to be a color culture? Yeah. I can't hear you. Are we excited to be a color culture? Yeah. All right. Okay, so my piece is very sensitive. So I require you to be open-minded. How many remember the R. Kelly song, I Believe I Can Fly? We all remember it, right? So I'm about to flip that upside down. So pay attention. I hope your phones are out. I hope I don't finish your space because of this little intro. Cool. I open up my coloring book. My history book. It's a fiction classic filled with black and white characters. Literally. I needed to find out exactly how peace was formed, how norms were forged by men that bleed red and poop green, yet choke others till they turn blue. Or maybe maroon, because the thickness of blood mixed with the grayness of hair and shades of brown turns dark, the colors so passionately bright. And yet they would beat the pale to purple and instill fear into them, and the excrement seen is yellow, slight green, with hints of orange. And funeral services were performed on ships with the throwing of bodies into the ocean, mixed deep blue with dark red, and then them landing at the bottom of its bed would explain why violent tsunamis, hurricanes, and earthquakes are named after the mothers that lost their children. You see, green is the birthright of nature, reminding us that when something comes to an end, life is the beginning from it. Such a cycle. You see, God has this brilliant palette in which all colors of a spectrum spun are brought to white, but he separates it to remind us that perfections in a mess are required for the mosaic of diversity. Because each stroke of genius is met with the stroke of its engineer. He plucks a fingernail with his teeth and uses it as a brush to paint into nature its greenery, into the sky the reflection of the sea, and into the deep the reflection of the sky. And when you turn it all upside down, you realize that astronomy may not just be the study of space, but really the study of the reflection of the sea. And so, to fly, I can, and to swim, I believe. Have you ever considered the rainbow that resides behind your eyes when you are dizzy? That's precisely what I did with this piece. But you need to play it back or put it on repeat because there are so many layers to get. So to compete with me would simply be an excavation attempt to the Earth's core, or listening to Royce, or watching Eminem perform surgery on a whale to extrapolate its heart, or simply coming around me with an onion, please. Consider the lobotomizing of your mind as I prove that your brain is actually pink. It is the Teletubby ignored. The cortex of your cerebral can form a vortex, but you believe that you are feeble and that your melanin tone is deaf to the sound of greatness because the white man gave you inferiority and taught it to you as a complex. The white man stole your ancestors' religion and painted Sistine chapels with small-minded men. The white man told you that your tradition is shea butter and cocoa culture is filth. They convinced you to adopt a stepson that hated your guts until they turned blue. They exchanged God for land, land for God, and did it all in Jesus and the Queen's name. The white man has now got red eyes and is sullen with tears when they see the yellow man has come to steal the very land that they invested into to build the Queen's nation. The yellow man just wants you to speak his language. The yellow man squints his eyes and speaks terrible English. The yellow man gives you all the red, blue, and green to change the rainbow of your life. The yellow man is considering and ushering in a new age of colonialism. Do not abash the future of your children. To the yellow man now, I need to pose a disclaimer. You see, I am all for diversity. But the trinity of oppressors has reminded me that I am the only one competent enough to complete my story. Because 3 times over have the white men of old killed, stolen, and raped my culture and tried to blindfold me to their dealings. 2 and twice over have the yellow men given me money to turn a blind-sided eye to their silent gentrification. Once and one have my own people, the black man, oppressed their own. Tribal constructs of denomination kill the depressed and grant them anxiety. But when you speak out on these things, you are said to be demon possessed. But if I am a child of God, I can never be possessed. So what exactly is leading my people to suicide when the enemy can't even whisper to you, die? And so, renewing of the mind is helpful to get rid of such a history. You see, confessing mental health should never be dismissive. It is not a white people problem, it's an everybody problem. Weak minds do not decide to die. It is strong, tired ones that do. Bloodshot eyes with brown pupils look at the world with a black view. And when you consider that the rainbow of life is supposed to be rich with promise, you realize that Technicolor is usually used to dim it, to strain your vision. Because when the promise dies, so do you. So reads a chapter of my coloring book. Thank you.